Okay, so a couple things to look out for. All right, you notice here, this is, let me go back here and show you where you get this. Come on. Oh, it wants me to do this first. Okay, so I'll do this first. All right, I'm going to, just like normal, and this is going to be evening. And I'm going to put it somewhere. I like to prompt for location because I like to put all of my files on my USB drive, just because I'm that way. I want to keep them off the computer. I have more space on my USB drive. So I'm going to create this, and it's going, I'm going to navigate to my USB drive, RTVF 20 class. Yeah, there we go. And that looks familiar, doesn't it? Okay, so you want to check something else out, and that is this workspace browser before you get going. Because you might get to this point and you get a prompt saying, oh, you don't have a record drive, right? So it will end your session, and but Pro Tools will be up and running. And what you want to do is go to the workspace window. So you go to Window, New Workspace, you go to the default workspace, and these are your drives, right? And mine happen to be record drives, and that's what you want. If yours is not a record drive, you can click on it, and hopefully you can designate it as a record drive. If not, playback may work, but record is best. If you're not able to change it to a record drive and an acceptable record drive, what you may want to do is take a fresh USB or a USB that you don't mind erasing and run it through your disk utility and format it for FAT32. That's FAT32. Okay, and that works on Mac and PC. There's also another Mac one that works, but it doesn't work on legacy Macs. So the FAT32 is pretty good. But either way, you can eventually change this to a record drive, and that's what you want, okay? It may come up fine. Now, you may be able to work on this session on a record drive here on your software drive, but I don't know how it's going to behave when we get to the video file, because some legacy Pro Tools products wanted the session files to be on a different drive than your software drive. So you may have to watch out for that. All right, so back to our session here. Of course, I'm going to start by doing a new track, right? This is all the same, right? This looks good. This will be my microphone, right? Now, we don't have an input here, and it doesn't give me an input, an acceptable input for me. And that's because we don't have the MBox or the Scarlett. We don't have that digital audio converter that we plug everything into. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is go to Setup, go to Playback Engine, and here you're going to choose whatever microphone is best for you. I don't have a fancy system here. All I have is my built-in microphone. But if you have a gaming mic that is, like a headset mic that is plugged into your computer and it shows up in this list, I would use that. If you have a podcast mic, USB podcast mic, and it shows up in this list, I would use that. Because you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to use my built-in computer mic to input my copy here when I do this. And it's going to sound like it. All right. So this is the point where we're dealing with really a workaround, where I'm not really using a pro quality microphone or broadcast quality microphone. I'm using the computer's mic, and we wouldn't do this in the lab, but we will do this for this thing. And then you want built-in microphone 1, and there we go. And does it work? Let's see. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I get a good healthy level right there. So we're good and working here. So I'm going to record my copy. And you know how that works. You record not only the track, but you record the transport. I got another transport down here, same thing. And I got a good level, so I'm going to give it a go. And you remember this copy. Entourage Hair Design reminds you that it's graduation time, and celebrations that follow should be and celebrations that follow should be celebrations to enjoy and remember. Unfortunately, every year there's a serious problem at graduation time with drinking and driving. At parties, always use a designated driver. Now make this graduation a positive step in the future. This message brought to you by Entourage Hair Design in Fremont, where they care about the future and welfare of our young adults. Yay! All right, only one pickup, so I'll have to do only one edit and turn this off. Now, I don't have an output here, right? And that's because we can, since we don't have that digital audio interface, which lets us have an input and an output going through the computer at the same time, we have to choose one or the other. So I have to go back up to setup, back to playback engine, and now set this to the built-in output, all right? And so now I can listen to what I just recorded. And yes, that all changed. Entourage Hair Design reminds you that it's graduation time. And it sounds here like it went through the computer microphone. And there, I'm sure it sounds really bad because it's going through Zoom. It's the escape key. So up in the top left, my escape key, I can toggle through all of the different keyboard, different tools. And if I use my tilde key, which is just underneath the escape key, I can toggle through all the modes, all right? Now I'm going to just kind of click on the zoom tool and just go boop like that. And if I remember, I did a pickup. How did that go? That follow should be and celebrations. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this off. Let's do this post-production way. I'm going to go. So I scrubbed it. Go Command E. I put a little blade edit right there, and I can just do Option Shift Tab. Select everything and delete it, get rid of it that way. I've also got pre-roll and post-roll on. If I tab on over to the next region boundary, here we go, tab, I'm over here now. I don't have the pre-roll on, I'll turn it on right here. I've got a second of pre-roll and that little flag comes up. Entourage Hair Design reminds you that it's graduation time and celebrations that follow should be time and celebrations that follow should. That was kind of screwy. Let's get a better look of it. Graduation time and celebrations that follow should be celebrations that follow should. Okay, so this is follow right here. That's actually allo. I'm cutting out the F. I'm cutting on the F right here. And if I go back into the shuffle mode and delete it, and here, and since I'm on pre-roll, and celebrations that follow should be celebrations to enjoy and remember. If I double click on the zoom tool, double click, it'll go on out and I can see the whole session right here. And I'll just use, I think, the trim tool and do that. Let's see if that's right, tab. And adults. Oh, I got a little schmutz on the end, so I'll just take that out. Now, I also want to get through to the zoom. Well, I want to zoom down to something I can see, and then I'm going to tab or escape through, toggle through to the smart tools, so I can like put a little fade out. I'm going to hit the return key and then tab to the next region boundary. There it is. Let's give me a little more space there. And oh, I was in the slip, and then a little there. How does that sound? Entourage Hair Design. Okay, so I got a fade up and a fade out. Double click, that's our whole thing right there. Now let's add in the music, right? And so for this, we're going to import audio. And this music is on the assignments page. So you can find this on the assignments page and download it to wherever you want it to live. I think this is the one. What you want to do is get it from this window into this window where you can audition it right here. Yeah, that's the music. So you get this window to this window to this window over here. And here's convert. Now in the labs, it was like, there was a little deal about, do you want to convert or copy or whatever? It doesn't matter. If you're working on a closed loop system, basically your computer and your USB drive, it doesn't matter. You're good to go as long as you keep using that same USB drive and everything, it'll remember it. So we're done. And yes, we're going to put it in our audio file folder, in our session folder, so that's good. And then it's going to ask me where do I want to put it. Now, on the instruction sheet, I have you build a track for it first, right? But you can just go ahead and put it in a new track. Let's, because I'm reviewing, you go ahead and put it in a new track and you're good to go. It's good to see everything. You're only going to have 2 tracks here, so let's just make this a little larger. And we'll make this larger, right? Maybe this should be a little larger. Maybe that should be jumbo, right? And then I can move this around. If I hit this in the slip mode and take my grabber tool and click shift, and click shift there, then I can slide it around in the track.
Entourage hair design.
That's great. Now the mix is really bad, right? And the thing said to go ahead and do about 30 seconds, right? So, and the mix is pretty bad. So what I'm going to do is look at the volume graph in our music track, and I'm going to take my grabber tool and bring that down a little bit. If I scroll to the right a little bit, then I can go here, put a breakpoint, and it said to fade out at about 30 seconds. So you can see there's a red line on 30. And so if I take it and bring it down there, I'm out at 30. And there I am, period, the end. And
Entourage hair design reminds you that it's graduation.
And if I need to mess with the mix a little bit, like bring this up or down, I can use the trim tool and bring it up or bring it down, right?
Entourage hair design reminds you that it's graduation time, and celebrations that follow should be celebrations to enjoy and remember. Unfortunately, every year there's a serious problem at graduation time with drinking and driving. At parties, always use a designated driver. Now make this graduation a positive step in the future.
Okay, you don't need to hear all that, right? You got that, right? We're all good. Okay, so then if you wanted to go for extra credit, what you could do then, instead of pulling the fade there, is to go take a piece of this and a piece of some of this, whatever you want, and a piece of this, and edit them together so that they end up being 30 seconds long. You're going to be a little bit over 30 seconds if you go from there to there. It's going to be a little bit over. So you're going to have to edit out some of there, right? And you're going to have to figure it out. Remember to count the beats, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And so if you edit on a 1 beat here, and you're going to edit over here, edit to a 1 beat here. If you're going to edit on a 4 beat over here, edit to a 4 beat over here. That kind of thing. So you want to keep it musical. And just remember, if you're going to edit some of this down, and in fact, let me do that for you right now. I'm going to go boop right here. I'm not going to mess with the edit, but I'm going to edit some of this down, right? And so now I've got this piece, and you can see it's a lot louder, right? So you're going to have to also make sure that the mix gets edited down to, gets brought down too, so that when it goes across here, it sounds, the music underneath sounds the same volume.
Driving. At parties, always use a designated driver. Now make this graduation a positive step in the future.
You see, so the music came in a lot louder, but since I brought it down, it didn't wipe me out. Okay, so we got that. Does that make sense? Does anybody have something they want to ask about that, or in there? I'll unmute people right now. We all good with that? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, good. All right. So the next thing, so this is, that's our demo for that. All right. Now you need to get this up to me so I can listen for it, so I can grade it, right? Oh, wow. Okay. So hang on a second. So let's just say that I pulled a fade right there. All right, this is the piece that I want. So if I need to bounce this, what I want is a bounce of an MP3 bounce, and I want a screenshot. So I'm going to want just to see 30 seconds of this right there, right? So this is what I want to see, right? I don't want to see any of that junk at the end. Just wanted to see this and make everything really big, fill up the whole screen with your session so I can see everything. And then all you do is on a Mac is Shift-Command-3 and it takes a screenshot. There it is right there. That's the screenshot. If I want to, I can rename it. I might do that, but it'll place it on your desktop and it'll be there on your desktop. Now you're gonna make a bounce, an MP3 bounce of this. Unfortunately, Pro Tools doesn't know that you put something here. It thinks that there's music that goes all the way to the end. So it's going to make a bounce of all of this, right? So to make your bounce, what you're going to want to do is take your cursor and give me, something beyond a little 30 seconds and highlight in the ruler and up above, all there. And then once that's all highlighted, it's going to make a bounce of that area. All right, and you're going to go to File, Bounce to Disk. All right, and then it's going to ask you what file format. Let's keep things small. All right, so let's go and bounce it to an MP3 file, and then make sure that the file format is interleaved. Okay, Pro Tools likes to work with two mono files. You get a left channel file and a right channel file. Right? But that's not what I want. That's not what, it won't do me any good. It won't do you any good either. You want a stereo, you want an interleave file. And what an interleave file does is it takes that left channel and that right channel discrete files and puts them into one file. And so the left channel information, right channel information is all right there in that one file. Right? If you leave it on mono, I'm gonna get two files and I can't play it. But if you put on interleave, I get one file and it'll have the stereo information. And I don't know, I'll just go Abrams, just so that when the instructor gets it, he knows whose it is, right? But I'll know anyway, because I know where I pluck it off of in Canvas. And then you can go and choose where you want to put it, but look at here. In my session, there is a folder called Bounce Files. That's a perfect place for it. So just go yeah, and go yeah, and it's in Bounce Files. And it bounced offline. Offline bounce is good. You don't want to bounce it on, because it'll bounce quicker that way. So let's go check it out. And so here is my USB drive. Here's our folder. Here is, let's see, afternoon. This is evening demo. That would be with an E, right? Did I miss that? Did I put it in the wrong place? Help me out. Oh, there it is. I don't know my ABCs. There it is. And then Bounce Files right there. There it is. And that will get to me somehow. And I'll show you how to do that next.
Entourage Hair Design reminds you that it's graduation time and celebration. So
that'll get to me. We can just say that this is the earlier screenshot, but from the afternoon class. But let's say this is the screenshot that I just took. It's kind of nice. I'm kind of that way, OCD in a way. I like to keep things together. So I also put my screenshot in here too. So then now I know this is the stuff that I'm going to give to the professor right here. But you can keep track of it any way you want to. All right. So where do we go with this? Where do we go with this? Hang on a second. I'm going to change our view. Yay, this is us, right? This is us. And if we go to assignments, I have not done file. Oh, no, maybe I did. So here's our digital PSA, right? That's us. And this is, you can download it here or go to the files section and download it. And I will, before I get out of this chair tonight, I'm going to make file a submission button here. And so you can submit your project here. And you'll submit both the screenshot and the MP3 file. Okay. All right. Can I get a thumbs up on that? Are we good with that? We good? All right. All right. All right. Yes, we got a question.
Yeah. So I opened up my Pro Tools here, and where that little section where you could put the input output on the actual like track, I'm not seeing that.
Okay. So what are you seeing here? Like no input kind of thing, or is it grayed out?
Well, you know where it's like, it says audio 1 and then it has a little record button and then it says waveform under that and all that.
Right.
But then the part next to it that you had on your screen,
Ah,
I
so,
don't have that.
okay, you do. It's in the edit window view selector. If you click on this, then you can look at what you've probably got is unchecked right there. So it look like that. So look like that. Yeah.
I'm seeing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have the right view. Let me do a new view.
Thank you.
All right. I was talking like I was in the labs. So it looks like that, right?
I still see Canvas.
Come on, stop that share. Do a new share. Let's do this. Okay. So
Okay.
you got it, and it looks like this.
Yeah.
All right. So go up to this white little dealio right here, and that's your edit window view selector. See, and you want to look at the I/O, the in and out.
Okay.
And when you do that, there it is. And so this is what I was messing with. This is grayed out. If I want to get it, I'm gonna have to go to go up there and pick it up, right? Pick it out. And then when I'm done listening to it or doing it, then I'm gonna have to go over here and click on that and do the same thing and pick my speaker, right?
Yeah, I see it now. Thank
Okay,
you.
good question. Good question. All right. So we was at this guy right here. Hang on. I got to change my view. Okay, so there will be a submission button up here. We got that. We got Canvas. So there will be a submission button here. I'll take any type of file type, but